Hey, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Everybody go ahead and subscribe to this channel. If you a fan of Takeoff, let me know where y'all from and who you a fan of. Let's get this thing started. So Offset brother pulled up to the QC headquarters. He told QC Pierre, he told Coach K, he told all of them that they cannot sell QC without giving Offset his QC Migos chains back because it's part of his whole work that he's put in. Technically, he's paid back the money from the advance and everything from signing to where they should have already had the chains paid for through the work that he put in. Because if you really look at it, they don't get paid by the hour. Rappers do not get paid by the hour. The only people who get paid by the hour is the studio DJs who charge hourly at the studio. And so that means that QC could finesse and get away with basically making Offset, Quavo, and Takeoff do thousands and thousands of hours of work, but only have to pay them for the actual song that was made and actually made money from. So one thing y'all gotta understand is that after Offset talked to Cardi B and they talked to Cardi B and her people and her management, they told him that technically that chain is yours. Like that Migos chain that Offset has, that big one, that's technically his because he's already done so many shows, so many promos, so many tours. That Breakfast Club promo that they did when Bad and Bougie came out was enough to pay for the whole Migos chains anyways. And so now they're wondering how come it's like they could sell the whole company, they could sell the whole label and all of their catalogs and everything that comes with it, but they can't get their chains back. They can't get, because it's got their names on it. Like technically Offset, Quavo, and all of them, they chose their names by themselves first before they even signed to QC. So they already chose Migos. So anything with a Migos logo on it, any Migos pendant, any type of Migos Cuban link pendant with the big baguettes chain on it with the flawless VS1 diamonds, that's all supposed to technically be belonging to the group who own the name. And so it's like that's why ownership is so crazy, because if they would have known a little bit more, they would have been able to negotiate in that whole dealing with QC being sold. And how you know that the people that they done sold it to isn't some type of parent company with Pierre and Jay Prince and all these folks who's trying to get their name, and they basically made a whole new company with a disguised name. But if you really look at all the executives, it's the same people. And so they just buying it back to basically get their name, get the names of the people who's involved in the whole RICO from Atlanta, get the names who's involved in the RICOs from Houston. They want to get their names out the picture. They want to get Pierre's name out. They want to get Jay Prince's name out of it, make a whole different company, and then they bought QC with that. And so how you know that they didn't have this already planned, and the issues and the struggles of them not being able to give back all Amigos chains, logo stuff, their merchandise. So that means they plan on selling it, and they probably going to do a Migos museum or a trap music museum in Atlanta, and they're going to have the Migos merchandise, chains, all of the stuff that's tied to their name that they've been working very hard for all of these years and decade, to be able to get to the point to where they should be able to take a hold of their merchandise and sell it directly to their fans instead of having it held hostage by whoever it is that bought QC or whoever it is that sold QC or gave them the idea. And one thing y'all got to realize is that the main reason QC was sold was because the Atlanta DA already said that it's going to be another rap group that's going to have a RICO come on them. And so they don't know whether it's going to be 4PF or if it's going to be Migos, QC, or whatever, because all it is that it seems like the same people. Everybody knows Lil Baby was being watched with the whole 4PF thing, but once he started doing the whole community awareness thing, they laid low on him. He knew he was in the hot seat, so he started doing that wave, and that's what got him out the picture. And so now they're like, oh, okay, well, what about the rest of QC? You know, they're still doing this, promoting that. They still hired these people and gave them money, and they allegedly saying they a rap group and this, and the third, right? So they still trying to find ways to get people rounded up and take them down in the name of whatever, to use their lyrics against them and all that kind of stuff, which is crazy because now it's like, as much as rappers already lie in all of their raps, like every rapper lies in their raps. Not every rapper is telling 100% truth in their songs. And that's why you just can't trust anybody. You can't look up to rappers because they lie in their songs. Some rappers, they grew up with, lived with their mommy for all their life and everything like that. And, there was a mama's boy, and then they just happened to get into some type of deal because of their music, but they never lived that street life before. So because now that they got the money, they got to actually impress some of the street people because they think, oh, their lane hip hop comes from the street. So I got to be a tough street guy to be taken seriously in the hip hop game, which is actually not true. And so what you got to realize is that it's causing rappers who just live with their mama and was a mama's boy for a minute and just been quietly trying to do their music career. Then finally, later on, when it seems or looks like they're about to blow up, they start doing all this stuff in the streets to make it even, like, so that they have a street reputation as well as their music career reputation. And so whatever they doing, whoever told them that they had to do it that way, that's the wrong way of doing it. Because what y'all got to realize is that you don't have to show or prove to anybody what you do in or outside of the streets, what you do on and off the court. You got to just hold yourself accountable and take charge of your own destiny and what people going to remember you as and your legacy. So you don't have to sit here and try to find ways to come up with things to do in the streets to get your street cred up because you are a rapper who didn't come from that whole type of cloth. You got to understand that it's either you went through it or you didn't go through it. It's either in you or it's not. You either cut from that cloth or you are not. So that's okay. Everybody come from a different way. And so at the end of the day, it's like when, Offset went up to the office to get his chains back, he was thinking as a businessman at that point because he knows he's changed his whole entire career. Quavo, Takeoff, Offset, all of them, they start changing. And once Takeoff started, he was always the one who was more level-headed business boss thinking. And so, Quavo and Offset used to get into it over some type of decision, and then they would ask Takeoff, and Takeoff will set the record straight and bring some reality into the situation and even the playing field between the three of them. So what y'all got to understand is that it's better to have the whole ownership thing because just like how the Migos got sold to some random company and now they can't get their chains back, they can't get their merch back, and Offset's brother and Quavo's sister is pulling up. Everybody's affected by this because they all understand what's really going on behind the scenes on what's about to happen with the whole Takeoff situation and how it's about to be people who's about to go down for that. Because throughout these whole 4 or 5 months and whatnot, these few months, they've been working quietly. They already know. They already had the witnesses who done recovered from everything and drove in the whip and started pointing out exactly who it was that was there standing on that platform that day. The dude standing against the railing that Quavo seen and nudged, and he bumped shoulders with him when he was walking right before the dude got slapped. Quavo knows exactly who that is. He knows him by name. So if the people took Quavo to him, he could point them out and everything. And so that's going to be the biggest thing when they put Quavo where they put the lineup of people who done captured and they asked Quavo to identify the person. And so we don't know whether he's going to do it or not because, like I said, he already keeping the street code from North Atlanta where you're not supposed to tell. And it's a whole thing. And then the fact that it's his family, like Takeoff got hit. So he saw it happen. And what is he going to do about it? That's what everybody wants to know. That's the real deep question that everybody's thinking. What is Quavo going to do in the situation? Is he going to tell Mob Ties, J Prince Jr. and all of them or not? Because one thing you got to understand is that J Prince and them already know that their sons like J Prince Jr. and Jazzy, that they done messed up. They couldn't hold it together. They were supposed to host an event. Everything was supposed to go smooth, but nope, not on their watch because it's them and they already got the clout. They don't feel like that they have anything to be careful about. And because they weren't careful about everything, look what happened. And so we don't know whether they wanted it or not wanted it. It's unknown. They haven't came out to clearly say exactly what. It seems like it's a whole lot of blame game going on. They even try to put the blame on Boosie for doing dice games with the Duke 093 and said that, because the first dice game was from Boosie, that they don't have anything to do with the second dice game, even though that was with Jay Prince Jr. and the Suns and all that. And so, man, all of this, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.